So AI Overviews
It's here.
is here. It's in Australia.
Yep.
Happening live on Google today.
Today.
Tell me about it. What have you found? And how did you first, what was something you searched on Google and it came up with an AI overview?
Oh, gee. I can't remember the first search, but yeah, it was distributed in America. We know that. It's been in America for a year now, I think. And we saw the release come out from Google. They did their...
They did some early testing, remember?
Well, they did some early testing,
Yeah.
but which we saw a few of our staff get targeted.
Yeah.
And the testing criteria seemed to be a particular age and demographic.
Yeah.
And then, they did a post saying that they're rolling out to over 200 countries, and Australia is one of them.
Yeah.
So, a couple of weeks back, we're talking now 2-3 weeks ago, distribution happened, took about a week to roll out, and now is just natively within Google.
Yeah.
So you will see it if you don't know what Google AI Overviews is, it's the updated version of what SGE was, which is Search Generative Experience. They renamed it to AI Overviews, and the concept is it's the first viewport of an AI...
snippet.
Yeah, somewhat of a snippet or a response. It's an AI response to your search of what you're asking within Google. The idea behind it is whether you're asking for a particular question. Generally, it shows up when it is a question-answer concept. So if somebody's asking a question to Google or putting a question in.
Or an informational search.
Then generally it will show up with some form of AI response. And then when you start going a little bit more granular on geographical-based searches or service and geographical searches, you tend to not see the response as much. Just from our early testing and what we've seen that Google have obviously pulled back on. So it's there. It's got a very unique response. It cites a lot of different businesses. And basically just draws on information through the web to pull it into an answerable overview for you based on what you're searching.
Yeah, that's it.
That is AI Overviews.
And I guess the goal of it from Google is to provide a more enhanced experience on Google for users. So it's definitely more beneficial for users than it is for businesses. Because I know
unless
for
you
myself,
can leverage it for your business.
Yeah, unless you can leverage it for your business. But I know for myself, searching something, especially if it's a informational search, or I'm trying to find top 10 cafes on the Sunshine Coast.
Sure.
Half the time before AI overviews, you have to scroll through this long form post, and it's really hard to find the answer straight away because we're all time poor. We want the answer right in front of us, and that's what AI overviews have done. They've it's just providing that quick and easy answer to an informational search straight away for users. However, for businesses, it can there's definitely SEO tactics to make sure that your business is present and is AI or Google is pulling information from your content into the AI overview. But what we've seen from some stats in America is that a lot of businesses that aren't necessarily implementing up-to-date SEO strategies are feeling the release of the AI overviews by not getting as much traffic to their website, not as many impressions. Obviously, you're reducing conversions based on that. But what have you found so far based on your research of strategies for businesses to implement to stay up to date with the AI overviews?
There's a couple of things I'll touch on there. So the AI overviews is really the answer to it's Google's answer to Perplexity or the new GPT search. That's the idea behind it. When users are online and they're searching for a particular, so say for instance, I use a basic, how to bake a cake. What is the purpose of somebody having to land on Google, go through
their backstory of
X amount of articles to then scroll through 5,000 words because they needed 5,000 words to rank, X amount of affiliate marketing, X amount of display advertisement, just to get to, you need couple of eggs, flowers, and water. You know what I mean? And that's the idea behind it. So the experience from a user standpoint is poor. Whereas AI overviews can just grab that exact information and pull it front and center for you. But it still needs that information.
Yeah.
So that's where the business comes in. And that's where the business can then write for the answer still. So it's similar to the FAQ markup concept. And when we had FAQs, which is now not a markup anymore, and it is something that is being phased out in Google. It's that concept of going, if I write helpful content, and I write content that is going to be helpful to a search query, thinking the exact of what the search is, the exact of what the intent is, and I can answer it, then it's going to be cited through AI overviews to answer. Now, the benefit is when it is cited within AI overviews, it will show the citation of where it was pulled from. So your article will then show up.
Yeah.
What's a really interesting thing is that, in America, we did see obviously, I say a huge drop. There was a drop, or certain websites saw a drop in impressions and clicks. Yet, statistically, year on year, Google is generating more traffic through to websites than it did on the previous year. So if Google is generating more traffic year on year, and it has every year, and always will to at this moment in time, it's generating more traffic through to websites every single year, somebody's winning. So if your website has seen a decrease, somebody has potentially then seen that increase.
Yeah.
And that's the way that you have to look at it.
Yeah.
So SGE will, AI overviews, sorry, SGE was there for so long. AI overviews will affect a lot of businesses in Australia. And generally it's going to be those ones that have affiliate sites, long form content, really just trying to digest a very small snippet, and it's not giving the great experience. Those sites will feel more of this as an impact than others. That does not mean that because AI overviews is out, that less people will now click on websites, less people will be, the traffic opportunity's gone, or the concept of SEO is dead. Like, no. It just changes. It changes the ballpark. It changes the goalposts. It moves things.
Yeah.
So we have to focus now not on just optimizing for a site. It's that concept of search everywhere optimization, because it can pull information from LinkedIn. It can pull information from Reddit. It can pull information from your website. It can pull information from YouTube. All of these sources can now be cited with AI overview. So if you're a point of reference or a thought leader in the industry, us as an example, we are a thought leader within our industry now as a position. We position ourselves, and people position us. I believe that if you're a thought leader, people position you, not you position yourself. We're in a position of where we are cited, but it isn't just from sites, it's from websites or our website, but it's equally from our reviews, it's from our testimonials, it's from our awards, it's from our YouTube podcast, what we're doing here.
Everything, yeah.
Because we're optimizing content for every platform, for every use case, in every medium, in every way that somebody can digest.
Yeah, which then goes into brand authority being a key metric for AI overviews, which sort of like ties in with that by being present and consistent across not only on your website by producing content, but also social media, LinkedIn. You and Jody are active on LinkedIn for digital nomads. All these other channels, it builds up, it sends the right signals in Google and builds up your brand authority in Google's eyes that you are that thought leader, which then will indirectly help promote growth and online. But also to touch on AI overviews and the SEO is that I feel like it will make SEO a little bit more competitive because there will be less real estate on that first page for your business to show up. So I feel like it will create more competition online because you want to be making sure that you are putting out the right content, targeting the right intent, making sure the technical structure's on point. And you are doing everything consistently so that you are showing up on that first page and even being pulled in that AI overview.
I think you touched on something there that's maybe going to become more apparent, and it is that the concept of page 1 being 10 is gone. So it used to be, 1 through 10 is the first page. With AI overviews now, with local pack, with ads.
It's different each search, I'm finding.
It is, and it comes down to as well with how much content, whether there's image markup, whether there's video, whether there's local pack, whether there's AI overview.
People also ask that section as well.
Yeah, people also ask. I've seen first page as short as 5 now. So
and ads in that.
Yeah. So that's short, you know. So we know that generally speaking, I say generally speaking, statistically speaking, we know statistically speaking that top 5 does tend to get, you know,
the most click-throughs.
It's a nice percentage of increase when you start getting into the top 5. Whereas under the top 5, I believe it's like sub 10%. When you're above the top 5, it starts going above that 10% double-digit threshold. So the importance of that becomes more apparent than what it used to. Whereas, you know, previously you could be in a position 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, and you would still get,
some
you know,
traffic.
4, 5, 6% of the clicks to some degree. Whereas that, I do anticipate when you've got the SG or the AI overview being present, when you've got local back being present, when you've got photo, when you've got people who also ask, when you've got e-com shop, whatever it might be in that merit, that could then be the page 2, which could then be the sub 1% overflow.
Yeah.
So that will reduce the amount of clicks that you will see if you're not in a strong position.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not too scary. It's not too complex. It's pretty straightforward. It really is just going to come down to good content optimization, really understanding consumer questions and answering them, and being able to do it on volume as well. It's not just being, I've got one question that I'm going to answer, I'm just going to write for that one question. You need to think about all the different nuances, all the different questions that people are going to be asking on your subject matter, and being able to answer and create content that is valuable across all of that, as a broad snapshot to be able to capture as much search as possible.
Yeah.
You know, we've 10x'd our traffic. We're talking just given it without talking client traffic. You know, we're over 10x our traffic within 12 months.
Yeah.
Through strong optimization and doing it the right way. So it can be done. You can leverage it to your advantage. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not scary.
No.
Bring it on.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for our next episode.